Rigging the mainstay and preventer. Make a fitting gauge approximately 30mm long from spare 1mm brass wire. Take the reel of 0.8mm thread and tie a heart block to the end with 2 half hitches. Now bind the thread together for a length of about 10mm and seal the knot and trim the ends. Feed the block up through the hole in the main top on the left of the mast. Feed the thread around the back of the mast on top of the shrouds. Then take the block back down the hole in the main top on the right of the mast. Pull the block down and hook it to the rear block fitting through the gangboard using a gauge you made in step 1. Pull the free end so that the stay is under a gentle tension and tie it in a loose loop below the main top. Use 3 half hitches, an extra one for the safety as it's an awkward place to work, and then seal the knot and trim the end. Unhook the heart block at the end of the stay from the wire gauge and tie a 40cm length of natural 0.25mm thread to it and seal the knot. Lash the 2 blocks back together with 4 or 5 turns, giving the stay a moderate tension. Tie the free end to one side of the lashing using 2 half hitches, seal and trim the ends. Repeat the previous steps to add the preventer. It runs around the mast just above the mainstay, down to the forward heart block. Rigging the forestay and preventer. The forestay and preventer are fitted in a similar way to the mainstay and preventer, using the same gauge you made earlier. Follow steps 1, 2 and 3. Zigzag snaking links both the forestay and mainstay to their preventers. Tension the thread carefully so as not to pull the stays out of alignment. Tie the overhead knots on the stay and preventer alternately until you reach the top. Secure the last knot with a half hitch. Seal the knots and trim the ends. Rigging the mizzen stay and preventer. Cut most of the hooked end off the side of your wire jig to make it easier to hook it into the eyes in steps 6 and 8. Bind the ends of 0.5mm black thread to make an eye. Seal and trim the loose ends. Thread the eye up through the mizzen top around the back of the mast and down through the hole on the other side. Feed the eye down through the lowest heart block on the main mast. Tension the stay and tie off the end in a loop around the mizzen top. Tie a 25cm length of 0.05mm natural thread to the eye, seal the knot and trim the end when the glue is dry. Loop the thread through the deck eye and then through the eye in the thread 3 or 4 times. Tie it off in the same way as the lashings for the main stays, ensuring that the stay is under a medium tension. Fit the mizzen preventer in exactly the same way, but take it through the next heart block, up the main mast and make off the end to the centre eye in the deck. Cut 60 gun port lids from the 2x10mm strips provided to match the size of your gun port. Stain them walnut, glue the hinges to them and drill holes for the thread. Glue the lids to all the ports on the lower and middle decks except those nearest the bows. Fit them at 90 degrees or angled up slightly to match the angle of the lids already fitted. Use 0.25mm natural thread to rig the ropes on all the gun port lids. The forward lower port lid is lifted in the closed position and will need one edge chamfered to fit the port. Main top mast stay and preventer. These lines, labelled A and B in the photo in your instructions, are fitted in a similar way to the mizzen stay and preventer. Using 0.5mm thread, tie one end around the main mast just below the hounds using 3 half hitches. Tie the other end around the mizzen cross trees under a moderate tension. It should not be pulled the mizzen forward by more than a couple of millimeters. Using 0.25mm black thread, stiffen an end with PVA adhesive and then feed it through the block at the back of the foremast cap. Then tie the stay around the mast just above the octagonal collar, but do not trim the end or silver knot yet, as you may need to adjust the tension later on. Once the top gallant stay is fitted, you can fit the Admiral's lantern just behind the main top. Using 0.25mm black thread, feed the end through the hole in the back heart block on top of the main mast cap. Then tie it around the trestle trees in the same way as you did the main top gallant stay. Tie the stay around the mast just above the octagonal collar, but do not trim the end or silver knot yet, as you may need to adjust the tension later on.